Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
It's not often a prosecutor apologizes for charges issued in a criminal case, but that's what one local man is getting after a case of mistaken identity.
But first, a clear symbol of hate turning up in a local school. Schools lately seen more construction workers, of course, than students. But a noose has apparently been found at Grosse Pointe South High School Tuesday in what we're told was an obvious and intentional display.
Yeah, school's been shut down for a while, as you know, but the superintendent says the building's 200 security cameras have been up and running, and now an investigation is underway. Jason Colthorpe is there live at the school tonight. Jason, a lot of classrooms under construction there.
Yeah, exactly. And we weren't able to get a look at this noose as it was described. But again, they say there's no misinterpreting this. It was clear. It was found in a classroom on the other side of the school over where some of the construction is happening. And once it was found, that room was sealed off immediately. Grosse Pointe South High School is basically a construction site these days. No students or staff for the last 3 weeks, just the Turner Construction Company making some improvements. Tuesday night, during a safety walkthrough, a worker found a noose in one of the rooms. It was immediately reported to the district, and Superintendent John Dean addressed it today.
While no GPPSS staff or students were thought to be involved in this incident, the district is participating fully in the investigation as we are committed to ensuring all people feel safe in our schools. Hate and intolerance have no place in our society or in our district. That investigation will almost certainly utilize the some 200 security cameras the superintendent says are at Grosse Pointe South.
Anyone found responsible shall be removed from the site as appropriate and referred to local authorities for criminal prosecution.
Now, there was no direct accusation against Turner Construction, but we were told that that company recently had a huge seminar for employees on race, racism, and harassment. And after this happened last night, this morning, they were gathered for kind of a refresher on how important inclusion is. We're in Grosse Pointe tonight. Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Yeah. Okay, Jason, thanks.
At 5 o'clock, the Local 4 defenders showed us how facial recognition technology played a key role in the wrongful arrest of a Farmington Hills man. Robert Williams was taken into custody in his own driveway in front of his family and then spent 30 hours in jail for a crime he did not commit. Defender Sean Lay back now with how the prosecutor's office is trying to make amends and possibly change how this technology is used. Sean.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy telling the defenders tonight she is apologizing to the man. Her office issued charges on a case based on facial recognition technology that identified the wrong person of color.
Why your office approved charges in the first place?
Well, we shouldn't have. This is a case that went to an APA. Obviously, I run a large office. And based on the information that we've all gleaned from it, at the time that it was issued, it should not have been.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy telling the Local 4 defenders tonight that she is apologizing to Robert Williams and his family after her office issued a felony arrest warrant for watches stolen from the Shinola store in 2018. Williams was arrested in front of his family at his Farmington Hills home, spent 30 hours in jail. Her office approving a Detroit police case based only on the use of facial recognition technology that identified the wrong African-American man.
They're 100% sure that they got the right person, and I'm 100% sure they got the wrong person.
It was issued by a prosecutor that shouldn't have. Her supervisor discovered it and dismissed the case.
Worthy tells us she has problems with facial recognition technology and the possibility of it misidentifying people of color. She rejected DPD's policy on it, but will continue to use it in cases. The defender is asking, after it failed in the Robert Williams case, why use it at all?
We're leaning toward that anyway, which is why we just declined the policy. So that's why we have extra steps put in place. This never should have happened. Certainly an apology is owed to him from us, and we do apologize. We certainly put that in our statement today. The 30 hours that I'm told that he spent in jail after he was arrested should never have happened. This case should never have been issued.
Kim Worthy says facial recognition technology will be used in cases her office prosecutes, but now it must be vetted by a supervisor and must be supported by other evidence. In downtown Detroit, Sean Lay, Local 4 Defenders.
Okay, Sean. Michigan is reporting its highest number of new COVID-19 cases since May. The state says there are 323 new cases, along with 4 additional deaths.
That news comes on the heels of an outbreak of now 34 cases among people who were at Harper's Bar in East Lansing between June 12th and June 20th. In fact, anyone who visited Harper's during that time is being asked right now to self-quarantine. Harper's, we should point out, is shutting down to add a new air filtration system and also so that they can test all of their employees.
A bill that would bar COVID-positive patients from being placed in Michigan nursing homes passed the state Senate today and now heads to the House. Doctors Without Borders is a humanitarian organization known for bringing medical care to conflict zones and nations in need around the globe. But their latest assignment is right here in Detroit. Our Frank McGeorge is here to explain why they decided to come here and how they're already making a difference.
Yeah, Kim, you know, as the coronavirus has rapidly spread across the world, Doctors Without Borders has gone to multiple hard-hit areas with unmet needs. When they looked at the U.S., the situation in Michigan's nursing homes stood out as somewhere that they could help.
It's a bit strange, but we realized quickly with COVID-19 that our experience with disease outbreaks around the world would mean that we have something to bring and offer, and that we brought here to Detroit for infection control to help out in nursing homes that are housing some of the most vulnerable people to COVID-19.
Emergency Coordinator Heather Pagano says it's work they've already done in Belgium, Spain, and northern Italy.
I have colleagues now in Ecuador and Brazil that are starting similar projects, and us here now in Michigan and Detroit.
They're providing hands-on training to improve infection prevention and control.
They're drowning under pages and pages of guidelines. You know, they have it from the federal side, from the state side, county, but then somebody to come along and say, practically, here's how you can implement this.
They're also focusing on staff's mental health.
Disease outbreaks bring out stress in people. And so we have our own programs in place to support our staff when they're in the field and when they come home. And we brought those same tips and tricks to these facilities to say, this is how we help our staff cope.
While nursing homes have been a point of controversy in Michigan, we're not alone.
Nursing home settings have really vulnerable people, but not the same resources as hospitals, for instance. And that is a pre-existing problem that COVID has just exacerbated. But it's not just an American problem. So I understand that it's controversial here, but it's controversial everywhere. And I think it's a problem we as humanity need to think about.
Yeah, in fact, Doctors Without Borders will be helping local nursing homes at least until the end of July. Now, they also have teams working in Florida with migrant workers, in New York working with homeless, and with Native American communities in the Navajo Nation.
So what did they say about the timing of being in Michigan now?
Well, interestingly, they said now is a good time to ramp up these procedures when there aren't as many cases to really help prevent COVID from rebounding. Now, facilities, interestingly, are also asking them about the safest ways to reopen to visitors, saying that, frankly, the nursing homes are worried about their patients dying of loneliness, not just the coronavirus. Yeah. The mental health toll is huge.
It is.
Back to you.
I can certainly see that, yeah. Okay, Dr. McGeorge, thank you.
New dash cam video shows a man leading police on a chase with his wife and one-year-old baby with him. Police say it started after a domestic violence call in Sterling Heights. It ended in Harrison Township as the driver refused to stop, avoiding one stop strip after hitting but then hitting another. He then hit a curb, lost a tire, and lost another before driving through a gate and getting stuck trying to drive away. The man was arrested. The wife and the baby who were in the truck were able to get away from it without being hurt, fortunately.
Children of color who have at least one teacher of the same race have a higher chance of success.
They are more likely to graduate, more likely to go on to college. But a recent report from New Detroit suggests Michigan teachers don't really reflect the demographics of their students.
Local 4's Victor Williams introduces us to one teacher trying to change that.
The main thing is that we want to impress on black men that you are needed.
Detroit teacher Quan Nellums is an educator seen on multiple platforms that's now hoping to encourage more men of color to step into the classroom.
You know, being involved in education, in the field of education as black men, it definitely has a revolutionizing effect.
Nellums discovered his newfound purpose in life when he realized black children, especially young boys, have little to no role models in school that look like them.
Men are 2% of the teaching population in the nation. But what we do know with those small numbers is that men have a deepening impact on the school culture. You know, black children, when they have representation in the classroom, when they see themselves and their teachers, they tend to come to school more. They tend to, attendance improves.
As a younger educator, Nellums has been able to use the art of hip hop to get through to his students. His after-school program is called the Lyricist Society.
Today is history, tomorrow's a mystery. So let's do something.
Utilizing that, it gives students a chance to see the brilliance behind something cultural that they listen to and are involved in on a daily basis.
He also created the organization called In Demand, where the aim is for older black men to make a positive impact on the future leaders of tomorrow in the African American community. For it's going to take all hands on deck to really make a difference.
Being involved in the lives of young people needs to be a part of every black man's lifestyle. You know, we definitely need to have representation in the spirit of education.
And to learn more about In Demand, you can head over to our website, clickondetroit.com. Reporting live tonight, Victor Williams, Local 4. Back to you guys.
Victor, what do people need to do if they'd like to get involved?
Well, they're actually in luck. Coming up on July 11th, In Demand is actually going to be hosting an event over at the Durfee Athletic Field to recruit people. So Mr. Nellums himself will be there and so many others.
Yeah, a way that you can get involved. Okay, Victor, thank you.
Let's head in to see Ben. Ben, I checked. I believe 0 complaint calls to you today.
First time ever, right?
Yeah.
It is a perfect day out there. Some showers, but still comfortable through tomorrow. The other headlines we're watching, possibility of severe storms as we get later into the weekend, and things are definitely heating up. We'll look at the hotter temperatures and the storms next.
A swimming pool could mean real danger for children. And now with so many of us spending time at home, parents need to be more alert than ever before. Tonight in my Help Me Hank report, we have important pool safety information and also the products that could help save a life.